the secondary is really good. Shout out to Diamado Lenore, Renardo Green, Travarius Ward coming back. It's a hell of a secondary, and it's going to be the strength of the defense, I think, for moving forward. Used to be the defensive line, though. How good is the Niners' defensive line from, like, how good is Bosa this year, and who's the second best defensive lineman on the team? Like, where does this unit rank on the 49ers?
Wow, because it used to be so much the most dominant unit. They used to have two whole starting caliber lines on one team, and now they don't have that kind of depth. I think I know this is going to sound crazy, but I think Malik Collins probably has been the second best guy. I don't know what's going on with Bosa. His answer yesterday of why he didn't tackle Baker Mayfield on fourth down, he gave us a long answer, and then later he was like, well, I was playing. I don't know if he said he was playing hurt or if he was fatigued, but he kind of made reference to he wasn't 100%, and yet he was out there. That is a problem. This is why I was screaming and yelling at John Lynch, live stream after the trade deadline, that he screwed up, because you know what? Your depth at defensive end is Bosa and Floyd, and then Sam Aquinu, who was signed off the street, and Robert Beal,
who's playing D tackle.
Yeah, and who Sam's playing D tackle, and then you don't have a lot of depth there. I actually kind of think that if you played all these guys, I kind of think Evan Anderson might be the second best defensive lineman, and he's another interior guy, but they're too thin at defensive end. They need another defensive end. They need to divest themselves of one of these tackles and add themselves a defensive end. You can't go the rest of the year with just Bosa, Floyd, Beal, and Aquinu, and you don't have a defensive end of note on the practice squad, I don't believe. Let me see their practice squad. I don't think so. They have Alex Barrett. Okay. You have Nesta Jade Silvera. He's a defensive tackle as well. They don't have a defensive end on their practice squad. I would love to see them add a defensive end on their practice squad. Because that's just asking a lot. Beal's never really proven what he can do. Aquinu's actually a really good player. He's been really solid, but you got to have 5, and you got to have for sure 4, and they have 3.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like they have the same. They used to be completely invested in their defensive line. Now they can't afford it anymore because they have so many high-priced players on offense: the receivers, the quarterback next year, the running back, the tight end. So it seems like their financial plan for the defensive line is the same as the offensive line. Let's have one Hall of Fame talent, pay him top of the market, and then figure out the rest. Get some bargain bin shopping. That's working on the offensive line pretty well. I don't know how well it's working on the defensive line. Like, Malik Collins is solid. Leonard Floyd hasn't made much of an impact. Sam Okwanu is a decent third down interior rusher, but it's a thin defensive line. It can't close the game. It gets worn down. It's interesting.
How many snaps did Bosa play this week? Do you have any idea how many snaps he played? Because to me, he's a guy that's way better 50 and under. If he has to play north of 50, that's not good. He's way better if you can spot him. And I get the sense that he wasn't telling us that he was hurt, but that he was gassed and that he had nothing left in the tank.
Played 52. 52 plays, 85%. It's a lot.
It's too many snaps, man. You got to keep him 40 to 45 snaps is the hot spot. So, I mean, their lack of defensive end depth is making. What did Floyd play? Floyd probably played a ton of snaps too, because you'd rather have Floyd playing like 15 to 20 snaps.
41.
Yeah, I mean, that's way too many snaps for a really skinny Leonard Floyd to play as a defensive end. No, that's too many. So they got to find another defensive end, or they got to get Beal going.
I think you stumbled upon something really important here. Snap counts for Bosa, okay? Let me go through his career. Rookie year, 76%. Second year, he got hurt. Third year, 78%. Fourth year, this is the All-Pro. This is the Defensive Player of the Year, 2022, 74%. Last year, 75%. This year, 86% on the season. It's not bringing out the best in him.
No, and it really matters, because this position is a sprint position. Nobody plays like, oh, you just pace yourself. What we got a glimpse of was Nick pacing himself in a high leverage situation in the fourth quarter, where he's got the quarterback arm in arm, and he's pacing himself through that game because he's playing too many snaps because they're not deep enough.
And so that's a problem. You don't want your players pacing themselves. And even with him pacing himself, he doesn't have enough in the tank to be the closer. He hasn't really been the closer at all this year, which is what they paid him to do. It used to be 2-3 years ago, if the Niners were up and the other team was trying to come back in the fourth quarter, the Bosa sack was coming, you knew it. Not anymore.
Can you throw those numbers one more time, Grant? What? Because I'm going to throw this
Certainly.
to Sorensen.
I'll go through it again.
Yeah.
Okay. Bosa rookie year, 2019, 76%. 2020, he was hurt. 2021, 78%. 2022, defensive player of the year, 74%. 2023, 75%. 2024, 86%. Like, he's not Max Crosby. That's the kind of thing Max Crosby can do. Bosa needs to be preserved a little bit. He's like a Lamborghini. Yeah.
You got to spot him better. 86% is too many snaps. Right. Come on. That's too many.
Because you need him at his best in the fourth quarter. You really do. And hasn't been. Man, he really didn't have anything that great to say about the Mayfield thing. He was like, yeah, I thought if I tried to tackle him, he'd be able to make a throw. Like, what?
The only truth that he spoke there was that it looked bad. He goes, on the slow-mo, it really looks, I forget the word he used.
It looked bad in person, too. It looked bad in normal motion. Sorry. John says Carson played great.
In slow-mo, it's offensive. It's offensive.
Yeah, sure.
Slow-mo.
Put some music to it, too.
Yeah, Benny Hill.
Yeah, right. Slow-mo. Carson played great because he had nothing to lose. If he gets contract, he will revert back like other journeyman special teams. Carlson.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Moody has a whole lot to lose, and maybe that's the problem. Larry, I will see you momentarily, as my mom.
We got one more super there on the way out.
Oh, all day, every day. All day, every day. Kim says Baker's stiff arm on Nick was cold-blooded.